ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a man. I shook up the world.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thank you.
They call me the problem, but you can call me the Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Split Decision, episode 75. With me today, I have a very, very special guest, the one and only Bill Trill Haney. How you doing, Bill? Welcome to Split Decision.
Man, pleasure to be on the show as always with you, AKHi. I mean, I think we undefeated. I don't know how many bodies we got, but we got a lot of them.
We got too many of them. And today is the last day of 2020. I want to say Happy New Year, New Year to you, Bill. Yeah,
brother. Happy New Year to you, man. May 2021 be be good to you and your family, man. And it's just we all as people, I think, showed our resiliency in dealing with a lot of the things that were brought on to us. The pandemic and just just not being able to spend time with your families and stuff. So, we're taking our time. Wrapping up the year. We're taking our time. No, thanks, Migo.
Through the wheels?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Well, just take our time, brother. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the year, like Christmas and Thanksgiving, and get together with the family that you do have, man, and celebrate. So it's a good ending to the year for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And likewise, and just to let it be known, obviously, less than 4 months ago, we had our first collab. I had 30,000 plus subscribers then. 3 months later, the last day of 2020, I hit 60,000 subscribers. So I want to thank you and the whole Haney family for always showing love.
Ain't no doubt, brother. You know what I'm saying? You are undefeated. The truth doesn't need no support. It don't need no help, and you always standing on it. So let's get to it.
Yeah, we take a whole army of decals. But let's get straight to it. So Ryan Garcia recently came out and stated, "Fuck Devin. I'm chasing legacy, not mandatories." What's your take on his comments?
Well, I mean, if Ryan is choosing to equate legacy and not championships, meaning belts, and Devin has, of course, the WBC world title, then he's been bit by the YouTube bug, and he's becoming a YouTube fighter instead of actually defining the legacy as beating the world champions that are available and willing to fight. And when you have Devin Haney, being not only just a tremendous talent, but he's also being the youngest promoter in the game, who has a great partnership with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, who've been trying to make the best fights happen. So, I don't know what to say about Ryan, but Mauricio Suleiman, who's I think ordering the fight, ultimately as Devin as a world champion, he can't do anything but accept his mandatories. And being in a position of being a champion is that you have mandatories, unlike the franchise champion. So we look forward to the opportunity, whether it's the winner of Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell, or it's Javier Fortuna, or whoever else the WBC decides to make as Devin's mandatory. We don't control that part. One thing is that we just stay ready, to fight, and and Devin, will deal with whoever that we put in front of him.
Right. Also, Ryan Garcia came out and said that he's the A side against Tank, against everybody. He told Devin, "Get your numbers up. Devin need me. He need us for a mega fight." What's your thoughts on them comments as well?
Well, I mean, it's been documented that Devin is making, he's making money. He's a world champion, and whether the fight happens now or whether the fight happens later, it won't be because we didn't want to make the fight happen. We've been ready to make big fights happen ever since we did the partnership with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and I think we've been true to our word is that if he puts him in the ring with him, Devin is going to handle the business. So that's all that we can pretty much do. We can't force him, Tiafimo, Tank, or none of them in the ring. We can just be ready to do our part. You know what I mean, and not sign on the dotted line.
Right now, is Ryan Garcia numbers as far as his followers, so on and so forth. That haven't translated to numbers in the ring because, like you pointed out, Devin is paid way more than Ryan, so he keeps saying he's doing the most numbers. However, he's the least paid. So does that haven't translated because maybe he's not a champion? What's your thoughts on that? Why haven't his numbers translated to
Um,
uh, you know
I don't
boxing
know.
hardcore?
I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard to like speak on, for me per se to speak on how much Ryan is making or how much he hasn't made or any of that. One thing that I do know is that the people want to see a fight between Devin and Ryan, and I think that it will be a mega fight. One thing that they always talked about is when one of them or both of them had world championships to put on the line. So Devin has did his part, and we're just now waiting for to see who's next.
Well, Ryan showing off his WBC interim belt everywhere on social media in Fight Night. He always does so. Now he is, the WBC mandated 2 fighters for Devin, which is Fortuna and the winner of Ryan versus Luke. Ryan said he want Tank then Devin. What's your thoughts on that game plan? He said he want to fight Tank, then he want to fight Devin. You think if he does get a Tank fight, he will keep his word and fight Devin? What's your thoughts on that game plan?
I mean, ultimately, like I said, it takes two. It takes two to tango. It takes two dance partners to make a big event happen. Devin can't be both of them at the same time. He's been true to his part is that when he got a world title, that he was going to make himself available, and that's just what he has done. And we just now have to see, and hope that Ryan wins the fight because it's not going to be an easy fight with him and Luke Campbell.
Right. So when it comes to Ryan, he did say Devin is his toughest fight. He acknowledged that. That's why he's saving him last. So what's your thoughts on his honest comments claiming that Devin is his maybe toughest rival or his toughest opponent? That's why he's saving him last.
He said it out of his mouth. I mean, he even said it on more than one occasion. It's just that, when you're in this position that they are as fighters, I don't know how long you can get paid good money and not be available to fight the fighters that the people want to see you fight. So if the fight with Devin and if the fight with Ryan and Tank doesn't happen, then Devin is available. If the fight with T.O. and whoever his next opponent is, Cambosis falls out, then Devin is available. If Javier Fortuna should be the mandatory, then Devin is available. And that's what we clearly, what I mean, are obvious that we are available for the big fights. We can't push for them any harder than we're already pushing.
Right. How much, in your humble opinion, how much did Ryan improve training with Canelo trainer Reynoso?
Reynoso.
You,
I think
Reynoso, yeah.
with just age, with just age and constantly being in the gym, he has improved. He has improved a lot. Since he joined Team Reynoso. Shout out to them and everything that they've been doing. The dad and the whole Garcia family for sure.
He said he's knocking out Luke. Luke is not on his level. He the best of this next generation, and he's willing to prove it against Devin, against Tank. He said he won't duck. He won't duck Devin. What's your thoughts on that
well,
bold prediction?
I think to prove that you're the best in the lightweight division, then I think that you have to have a strap to prove it. So, and then you have to be willing to defend it. Devin has defended his belt twice, against Santiago and then against Gamboa. So that means 2 voluntary defenses when he had. It's not about just being a Instagram star. I think you have to make yourself available for those big fights, and sometimes the fights will go where popularity doesn't necessarily swing. Might swing in the other direction, might not swing in your favor, but being as
Yeah. Well, we having connection
hello,
issues. Yeah, I think
hello.
you back on. Yeah. Can you hear me, Bill? Can you?
Yeah, I think as like I keep reiterating that not just being a champion means not just a champion doesn't just get the belt and not make itself available. Devin has made himself available for the big fights, and I think that's what stands out. That's different between.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We're losing you a little bit, Bill. Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Hold up, Bob. Hey, tell them I have 6 cash app in the money.
We have a little technical difficulty, but I think Bill receiving a call while he's on the live, so let's give him a little time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill. So your screen completely disappeared. Okay, you back on. Can you hear me?
Gotcha. Yes.
All right.
Can you hear?
Yeah. So we can hear you. We got the most, the main point that you pointed out. So obviously Devin Haney he has 2 mandatories right now, the winner of Ryan versus Luke and Fortuna. So if Ryan is not, like he said, if he doesn't want to fight Devin next, does that just leave Fortuna? Is that the only option Devin has? Because everyone seems to look elsewhere for now.
Like like we talked about, bro. That
Yeah, you breaking, Bill. You're breaking up bad. So let's give Bill a little time. He should be right back. I think he obviously on the road while he's talking to me. So if you have any question, please drop it on the super chat, and Bill will answer your question when it comes to anything you guys want to talk about. Obviously, some people want to know. They got some people sent me some questions about Tank and the doghouse sparring. So I'm gonna ask Bill when he get back with that. In the meantime, I appreciate all the love and support. Obviously, today is the last day of 2020, so happy New Year to all of my AKHis. Make sure you guys, stay healthy, stay safe. The second phase of Rona is back, have arrived supposedly. So make sure you guys practice social distancing. If you haven't did that by now, then good luck, in 2021. But I appreciate all the love and support. Got Bill back. So yeah, when it came to that Fortuna question, so is Fortuna the only option since everybody is looking elsewhere?
Nah, I mean, this ain't nothing new, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. We ain't just started. Let me put the seatbelt on. So what's the night? Turn left, right. And I apologize. By it being New Year's Eve.
It's all right. It's
You know
all
what I
right.
mean?
We
I
know
want
Bill's
to,
got a lot of going on.
yeah, by it being New Year's Eve, I want to make sure that I spent some time with you too, bro. But
Yes, sir.
but yeah, this is no new thing for us, to be in this position, that Devin is available at 135. He is the best fighter in the lightweight division. You know what I mean? And we'll continue to show our dominance. After this fight on January, what does he fight on the 2nd? Like he fights what, day after tomorrow or something like that?
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah,
He fights
and
Saturday.
yeah.
After
And also I received a lot of questions. When it came to Gervonta Tank Davis and Devin Haney, with Devin doghouse sparring with Tank picking up steam again. Would this spark Flame and Tank to fight Devin sometime soon? Now that everybody talking about this all over again.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that the fighter that Devin is, he creates a problem for anybody. Um, Tank. I love Tank's style of fighting. I've always been a big fan of him and everything that his team does. Over there. Baltimore and a whole. But I think that Devin just has something that's special. And takes nothing away from those fighters. Those are all great fighters. Great young fighters. Tank, To. Ryan, but it's just something special about Devin. His skill set, his work ethic, it's just in his approach to the sport. Um, I haven't seen anyone that's just so focused with one thing as much as I've seen with Devin and boxing. So, it'll be definitely a treat for the fans. If Devin and when Devin and Tank do meet up.
Yeah. Well, a fan also asked, how much money you won that day, Bill?
How much what?
How much money you won that day?
How much money? Who? Oh, how much? Oh, how much money did I win on that day?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. It was some money. It was some thousands.
Okay.
You know,
Um. Yes, sir.
we
Yes, sir.
wasn't getting the
Now,
money. We wasn't getting the money we getting now. So it was definitely some money that I appreciated.
I got you. I got a super chat for you. A couple super chats. Joey, is it true Tank got the better of Devin first time they sparred? Question mark.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And how old was he when he first sparred Tank?
I think it's like 15, like 14 or 15. Turn right up. Like 14 or
Oh
15.
wow, yeah, he was really young. And Tank is Tank like 4 years older than Devin, right?
Um, all right, we're gonna just park right here. I think no Tank is. I don't know. Tank like 20. Yep, they're probably like 4 years older. Yep.
Right. And the
I got good like family. I mean, we got good people and family and shit in between each other and shit like that. So it's always been good. They showed us love when we came down there. You know what I'm saying? Because to come to one, Tank was already pro, and then Devin was still an amateur, I think. Then you know what I'm saying?
that's the
So
first
they
time
had
they
work.
sparred. You're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
The
that's
first
the
time
first
that we
time
parked
they
right
sparred.
here, back in the park. Yeah. So the first time that he sparred. You know what I'm saying? So Tank was pro, and then the next time, Devin was pro, and then Tank was pro, and Floyd. So they had put in a little bit of work, and yeah, they both was professional there.
Right.
But you
Now
know what I'm
people
saying?
say,
Win, lose, or draw ain't nothing new. I'm gonna always bet. I've always bet on. I've always bet on Dev. It ain't no secret. I mean.
yes, sir. And now people say sparring is not a real fight, but is doghouse sparring the closest thing to a real
I
fight?
got a timeout and come back in, bro. time I'll come back in.
All right. So if you guys got any questions, then throw them on the super chats. But go ahead and click on that like button. Like I always say, if you guys have any questions, either throw a super chat while I'm on live or hit me up before I go live. That's the only way you could get your question across, So like I said, as far as the doghouse sparring, a lot of people wanted me to ask Bill about that. So, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to throw a super chat. Like I said, I appreciate all the love and support. We definitely hit 60K. The goal was 50K at the end of 2020, but alhamdulillah, God blessed me with an extra 10K. So I'm nothing but grateful. So I appreciate all the love and support. I've been humbled by all the love and support. Even shout out to all the decafs too, man. Shout out to all the real decafs that called in. I mean, their chances was pretty much slim and none. They had a better chance of hitting the lotto than pretty much debating AKHi and putting a blemish on AKHi record. But at least I respect the fact that they called in. You know what I'm saying? Like I already said before. I don't know. I'm 1,000, 2,000 and 0. I done knocked out every decaf there is. A nation of decafs can't hold me back because the truth will always prevail. So with that being said, shout out to all the real AKHis. AKHi stand for my brother. 2021 will be AKHi coming out year. We not heading to 100K. Absolutely not. We heading to 1 million. 10 million after that. The sky is the limit when it comes to AKHi. So like I said before, there's a lot of great things coming. I got a lot of great plans coming forward that you guys going to start seeing a lot of changes on my channel the beginning of this year. I'm also trying to open a gym and I'm trying to do a lot of different things in the process. So stay tuned with me and we're going to have Bill back on the line, but I'd rather, I'm going to go ahead and dive into a topic till Bill get right back with me. I might actually go ahead and pick up a phone call or two, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about, you guys could call in and talk about it. But Sean Porter walks away from a Crawford fight if Bob tries to lowball him. Bob officially made Sean an offer for $1 million. Now, obviously, I already reported on this, in which Bob Arum came out and said that he's willing to pay Sean $1 million. However, the truth is, Sean is not $1 million fighter. Sean is at least a $2 million fighter. I'm pretty sure Sean last fight against Formula, I'm pretty sure he made more than $1 million then. And he fought pretty much a prospect that was undefeated or a contender. So, which I'm going to continue talking about it in a few.
It's static.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's static real bad, bro.
Oh, static. Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
I can't hear you.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Is it clear?
I can hear you. Yep, it's clear.
All right.
What about you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you completely fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so I think we left with Devonta sparring. Oh yeah, I asked you. People say sparring is not a real fight. Is doghouse sparring closest thing to a real fight?
I mean, anytime that you get together and you get sparring, you get a sparring partner. Well, as a coach, you're supposed to talk to your sparring partner, and then the sparring partner knows what he should be working on to emulate the style of the fighter that you're about to fight. That's traditionally how it normally goes, how I learned it to go. But when you have certain fighters and they get together and it's called testing your tools out, seeing where you at, where you see where you at is where you get two guys in this of similar ability, put them in the ring with headgear and everything on, and you kind of get a chance to just gauge where you are, where your talent is. You're not able to 100% gauge it because it's not a full fight without the headgear on, smaller gloves, but you get a chance to see. So that's what that is. It's not. I don't think it's something that you weigh unless that's what you're looking to do. If you're looking to weigh or gauge the sparring, then that's what you'll do. If you're not, then you're not. It just all depends on how you look at it.
Right, right. That's for sure. And so if Tank does fight Ryan, is T.O. left with only Devin as a dancing partner?
Um, right now, what the people is left with is getting a chance to witness a young fighter and Devin being the youngest of the whole bunch, lead the pack and represent what a real champion is supposed to be doing, and that's being available to make the fights happen. That's having mandatories. That's not carefully calculatingly avoiding the fighters. So it's just I think that just like T.O. said before he got the belt, that he was going to be a different type fighter, and now that he has a chance to stand on it, I don't think that they're doing it. They're not walking the walk like they were talking the talk. So
Yeah.
there's only two world champions in the lightweight division. That's Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. So to get a true unification of all the titles for undisputed is the fight that ultimately we want. We want most, and then second to that is defending the title and defending the title with pride. That you honestly tried to get the best available opponent to fight. So that's where we're at with it.
Well, T.O. Senior said Composer was more deserving than Devin to fight T.O. due to his accomplishments. Today, you say what?
Well, I say that you always have a hard time justifying a lie. You're gonna have to tell one lie and then you have to tell another one. My grandmother always said that. So I say that to say is that there's no other opponent that's deserving of it than actual another world champion. So when he says that it's another opponent, it doesn't make sense. So the people, that kind of rhetoric will speak for itself. Um, the people want to see the fight happen, and we don't make any excuses. We don't make any excuses of saying that we're A side or we're the B side or any of those things. We know it's going to take two to tango, to
From
two to actually sit down and try to make the fight happen. If you go into it negative and you go into it with I'm the A side, I'm gonna make all the money, then chances is, things will get stalled before they get started. So we want to be open and optimistic as possible in the sense of just thinking that we will be able to make some of these big fights happen that the people want to see.
and last thoughts on T.O. revealing that they were looking at a possible Flex Verdejo fight
Huh?
before he lost to Nakatani.
He said he did what?
T.O. he revealed they were looking at a possible Flex Verdejo fight, but obviously he lost to Nakatani. What's your thoughts on that? They were eyeing,
Hold on.
a potential opponent.
Okay. Repeat the question.
Tia revealed they were looking at a possible Flex Verdejo fight, but obviously he lost to Nakatani. What's your thoughts on that? They were actually entertaining Flex Verdejo against Tio on
Well,
ESPN.
well, like I say, ultimately when you want to be a fan favorite, then you want to do and fight the fights that the fans want to see. Devin looks to be an all-time great. He wants to be a fan favorite, so you have to make yourself available to the fights that the people want to see. And outside of that, I don't want to talk about other fighters that the TO might choose and talk about them in a negative way because we want to make the fight happen. Ultimately, it just all those guys are warriors. Uh, all of them have something good and or great about them. It's just that Devin is, like I said before, he's special. He's special. Once every quarter century.
Yes, sir. Now, Bill, you specialize in the Haney style. That's the next trend when it comes to boxing style, so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to being a trainer, uh, Derrick James lost the Trainer of the Year yet again when he has when he has two unified champions that won this year from Aerosmith to Jamel Charlo. What's your take on that? Do you think there's any other trainer that's more deserving than Derrick James, or he should
Man,
have won?
Derrick James is a hell of a trainer, man. A real gentleman, man. World class guy, man. Superhuman being, man. You know what I mean? When you talk about him, man, his temperament and his approach to just dealing with the game, the fight game, dealing with people and his job, man. He's a class act, man. And if I was to give out any award to a trainer, Derrick James would definitely be one of them.
Would you say he the trainer of the year due to
Excuse,
having a champion?
excuse me, sir.
Would you say he the trainer of the year because he has two unified champions, Errol and Jamel?
I just give a lot of props to him just overall, just for the person that he is and he has been. You know, I've watched him from afar, and I think, man, he's he exemplifies what a world champion coach should do and should act like and how he should carry himself. So um, I definitely, yeah, I definitely would consider him as a trainer of the year for sure.
Yes, sir. Bill, I really want to thank you for coming in to Split Decision. Always showing love. Always giving your take. I want to say Happy New Year
Thank you,
and blessings
brother.
to you and your family.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. Okay,
Yes, sir. You can
take care.
always follow Bill on Instagram as well. I'm gonna leave it in the description box below. So there's a lot of talk about. First of all, let me go ahead and give my take on the trainer of the year. Obviously, new media, we coming out with trainer of the year, fighter of the year, pound for pound list, so on and so forth. So just stay tuned. But in the meantime, obviously, there's no secret. Derrick James is the only trainer in boxing this year. Hold on, let me open up the phone lines before I get my 2 cents. The number is in the description box, so if you guys want to call in. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, so when it comes to the trainer of the year, Derrick James have two unified champions. Derrick James have Errol Spence, who's been a unified champion, and then this year alone, Jamel Charlo also became unified champion. He's number one in his division, just like Errol Spence is also number one in his division. They two both pound for pound fighters. I think it's fair to say Errol Spence is pound for pound number two, and Jamel Charlo is pound for pound number three. And not to have Jamel Charlo on anybody pound for pound list, and not to have Derrick James as the trainer of the year, it's really disappointing to see in the sport of boxing because there's so much biased narrative, so on and so forth. And Derrick James, he's dealing with a whole lot, like Bill talked about. when it comes to Derrick James, you're dealing with a character that is a great person overall, a great trainer, and he also know how to deal with fighters with different personalities, which he received in different parts of their career. For example, Errol Spence, he's the calm type. He's, obviously he's from Texas. He's more of a cowboy. You know what I mean? So when it comes to Errol Spence, he got him when he was younger. He have a completely different personality and a different style than Jamel. Then on the other hand, he ended up receiving Jamel like in the middle of his career, you could say. So he had to get adjusted to him. And obviously Jamel Charlo is hot-tempered. He don't accept no bullshit. He wants you to put respect on his name. You better stop running your mouth because Jamel Charlo will obviously do the job if you don't. So you're dealing with two different personalities, two completely different styles. And Derrick James was able to, deal with all the above and sharpen their tools. So for him to get robbed yet again for being from being the trainer of the year is ridiculous at this point. Last year, Jamel Charlo avenged his loss against Tony, in which he pretty much got robbed, right? So that same year, Errol Spence became unified champion. This year, Errol Spence came back after surviving a car accident in a miracle way, fought a top name opponent like Danny Garcia. Derrick James guided him through all of that. Then on the other hand, Jamel Charlo made history, knocking out a tough opponent, Roman, in a division where it's like, obviously in boxing, you can't play the triangle theory, but in the 154-pound division, you could play the circular theories because the belts have been circulating in that division for a while now. But only one fighter remains supreme, which is Jamel Charlo. Who been on his side? Derrick James. And he's number one in that division today. He's also have majority of the belts except at the WBO. And we already know what time it is when that belt, because Golden Boy have it. And it's not a top fighter. We know Jamel should be able to beat him with no problem. So the point that I'm trying to make, they robbed Jamel Charlo. They robbed Derrick James blind. I think they gave it to Canelo Alvarez trainer. Edgy Renanso. I think that's how you say his name. I'm sorry if I butchered it. Renanso. Yeah. So I just think that's a bad look on the sport. But obviously, New Media, we're gonna do our job to come out with pound for pound list. That's the whole truth. The narrative is the whole truth. I'm not gonna give my a pound for pound list based on my emotion, because that's the Gotti list. They already got the Gotti list for that, and Floyd Mayweather beat Gotti in an action-packed fight, so he should be on top of the Gotti list as well. But obviously, they got the Gotti list for their favorite fighters. However, when it comes to the pound for pound list of New Media and all the awards, everything is going to be based on the truth and nothing but the absolute truth, and everything is going to be backed up factually, not emotionally. As you all know, everything that I talk about on Split Decision or any of my shows or any of my videos or any of my reports is always factual. I support, if I say my opinion, I'm gonna support it with facts. You best believe that. It's not gossip. We say nothing but the whole absolute truth. Not 5% of it, not 10% of it. The whole absolute truth when it comes to every subject. That's why you see these decaps, they shook, they scared to look every time AKHi's on TV, because the truth is always bad news for these decaps. So I'm gonna go ahead and, before I pick up phone calls, like I said, I want to talk about what Sean Porter had to say. Go ahead, pick up a phone call. So the person I pick up, we're gonna talk about what Sean Porter had to say, so on and so forth. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is, or where are you calling from? Oh, hold on. I gotta connect you. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, sounds good. Hold on. All right. So.
Hello?
Yeah. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me just get my information together. I just got a super chat real quick. Trey Rob, Eastside. I appreciate the support, man. You always in the comment section supporting me, and every time throwing super chats. Mauricio is an epic decaf. Maybe he returns. I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so, man. You know what I'm saying? I gave him some time, but he tapped out on me twice. I call him the tap out machine. So, anyways, Joey, Sean Porter came out and said that Sean Porter said he's gonna walk out of a Crawford fight if Bob tries to lowball him. Bob officially made Sean Porter $1 million offer. Right now, the good news is that they started negotiating, regardless, how low it started. At least it begun. At least an offer have been officially made. They usually start low and pick up high. Now, I'm be honest with you, Sean Porter is not a $1 million fighter. We already know what time it is. Like I said, the formula is already out there. The formula is already out there. When Sean Porter fought Formula himself, a prospect or a contender, he made more than $1 million then. So he should be getting paid way more than $1 million against a guy like Terrence Crawford, who's pound for pound #1, right? On top of that, you got to remember that Kell Brook also got paid $2 million. They offered him 1.5, and then they improved the offer to $2 million. But unlike Kell Brook, Sean Porter is really hot right now. The Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter is one of the hottest subjects out there. And if Terrence Crawford is able to put on a statement against Sean Porter and maybe beat him in a better fashion than Errol Spence or any of his previous opponents, then that will give Terrence a hell of a leverage on the negotiations table against Errol Spence. People will demand that fight, for one. Second of all, it's going to do good numbers on pay-per-view, so it's going to give him more of an even cut on the negotiations table when he tried to fight Errol Spence, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is Terrence Crawford he should really try to push for this fight. And please, Sean, like, obviously Sean said, yo, Bob, don't even do it. Like, don't even disrespect me and send me this ridiculous offer if you're going to just send me $1 million, send me what I deserve, basically, right? So all I'm saying is, I'm not expecting, Sean to receive, $10 million and none of that. And the good thing about it, he's not asking for $10 million. He's just asking for a fair offer. He said, don't cheat me. Basically, give me what I deserve. Don't lowball me. What's your take on that?
I mean, I just hope that Bob doesn't do to Sean Porter what happened with Danny Garcia. People forgot that Danny Garcia and Terrence Crawford were negotiating a couple years ago. And that fight didn't fall through because Danny Garcia found out he could make the same money fighting Adrian Granados than he could fighting Terrence Crawford. Lower risk fight for the same amount of money. So that's just business. You're not going to give me a good enough cut, then I'll just take my business elsewhere. And I see Sean Porter doing the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I see people in Terrence Crawford's chat saying, oh, Sean Porter not even worth $500K. I'm like, Sean Porter just made well over $2 million. Like, he had a flat fee of just a base number of $2 million fighting Errol Spence, and he's not worth $1 million. to fight Terrence Crawford.
And that fight was on
Like,
pay-per-view.
come on now.
That fight was on pay-per-view.
Exactly.
So after the pay-per-view, which did 325,000, most likely, I'm not saying, I'm just giving you my projection on this one. He possibly he ended up with 5 to 6, maybe even 7 million against Errol Spence. So, you know, the 2 million was just a guarantee, you know, in case if the fight sold 0 pay-per-views, he would have got paid 2 million, right? So when it comes to obviously Terrence Crawford, if Terrence is a star, which I truly believe he is, then Bob Arum needs to believe in his own fighter and put the money up, because this fight on pay-per-view is gonna do at least 200K, at least. So if Amir Khan was given 7 million, I believe he made 7 million after it was all over, then Sean should at least be making 5 million after it's all over. Now, I'm not saying give him 5 million. I'm saying at least give him 2 million guaranteed and a percentage of the pay-per-view, just like it was done with Errol Spence. You know, now, like I said, I think it's more of a Bob issue. However, I think the issue, like
I know it is.
Yeah, like me and I think it was you, me and you talked about this issue could be resolved once it goes to purse bid. Once this goes to purse bid, a lot of this is gonna get cleared up, because first of all, the networks is gonna be competing with each other when it comes to the purses they willing to put on the table, and the one that put the biggest money on the line is gonna host the fight. So if ESPN don't want to invest in this fight, PBC could end up picking up the fight and stealing Terrence Crawford from ESPN as far as for fighting Sean Porter. Even if Terrence still under Bob, right? However, at the same time, they will only be paying Sean Porter 25%, because you automatically get a 25% cut for the mandatory and 75% cut for the champion. I'm pretty sure Sean trying to avoid going to purse bid. I'm pretty sure he's trying to get a bigger cut before going to purse bid, because once you go to purse bid, is already automatically known you're only getting 25%, nothing more, nothing less. You know, so I'm pretty sure Sean is like, you know, let me see if I could get more than that 25%, since I'm more than just a mandatory. I'm Sean Porter. I'm a big name. I possibly got the best resume in the division, but I just think that ain't gonna work with Bob. I think he's gonna have to go to purse bid with, you know, and get Al Heyman to do, you know, the business work for him, because as far as Bob, you know, I don't know what it is. You know, he said he ain't going to promote Terrence Crawford no more. He said, you know, he lost money on Terrence. So if Terrence stays with Top Rank after what's been said so far, man, he should at least get an $80 million deal, like Tyson Fury did. I mean, you see Canelo Alvarez fight an Avini on his he about to fight Avini for I don't know how many millions, possibly 20 million, and Terrence Crawford gets paid 3 million a fight still. That's ridiculous. Why he pulls in the biggest numbers on ESPN. So obviously somebody's getting lowballed. So in order for Terrence Crawford to get paid what he deserved, you might want to head to PBC. You know, they treat a brother better over there. So what's your take on that?
No, I mean, I agree with you on that, simply for the fact that at the end of the day, this is Sean Porter. This man has fought Thurman at his best, Danny Garcia at his best, Spence at his best. He's fought Ugas. He's fought Kell Brook at his best. He's fought the best welterweights except for Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford. And if you ask him, he says he's happy to fight Terrence Crawford next. It just comes down to what they're offering. And Sean Porter demanding more money, there's nothing wrong with that. The first time he went on pay-per-view with Errol Spence, he was able to do great numbers, and on top of that, put on a great performance. So you know you're going to get your money for it as a fan, and you know you're going to do great numbers as both a promoter and a boxer. See, like when I'm looking at this, I'm afraid that Sean Porter might just take his business elsewhere and end up going for the rematch for Errol Spence, or trying to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao, because he may look at this as like, look, if they're trying to lowball me and take this away from me, I might just go elsewhere with it where I'm guaranteed to make more money. Because I know there's some people that still want to see a rematch against Errol Spence. It may not be as requested as Terrence Crawford, but hey, this is business. At the end of the day, I'm going to look out for myself first. And if Bob Arum can't see that, he's just putting his fighter in jeopardy of potentially getting a fight no one wants to see again. Because I don't want to see Crawford up against anybody but someone in the top 5 anymore. Because I think Crawford is a great fighter, and I think he has shown great performances, but I want to see him up. I want to see – I really want to measure, because I think Kell Brook was a good measurement, but I know Sean Porter will really really test to see, okay, this is a fight. This is a fighter who both Errol Spence and Crawford have shared in the ring at his peak, and this is how they compared against each other. This will really show who's really top dog at welterweight. At least it will put some questions in there if Terrence Crawford is successful in that fight.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, we know Terrence could box, right? We know he could fight on the inside. We know he could do a lot of different things. We know he always approaches every fight differently, but if he could show he could outdog Sean, or possibly, this is a big statement, but if he could stop Sean, something Errol couldn't do. I mean, that's such a huge statement that's going to put a lot of pressure on Errol Spence to face Terrence Crawford. And not just that, it was all, like I pointed out before, it's going to give him a bigger leverage on the negotiations table. And it will give the fans a better, gauge on how the fight is going to play out. The fight of the decade between pound for pound number 1, Terrence, and pound for pound number 2, Errol. Because now, we know Terrence, obviously, he could box. He could possibly outbox Errol Spence. And then if he does something to Sean that's crazy, we know he could possibly dog it out with Errol. So there's no telling, like I said before, when it comes to the fight of the decade, there's no telling how that fight is going to go. Maybe Terrence outboxes Errol. Maybe Errol outboxes Terrence. Maybe Errol Spence outdogs Terrence. Maybe Terrence outdogs Errol. Ain't no telling, right? That's why we got to see the fight. But I think that Sean Porter will get us a step closer, right? Because there's been a lot of said. Errol Spence want to fight Pacquiao. I don't think that fight is going to happen, because I got some exclusive news, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But since that fight is off the table, maybe Errol Spence could fight a Ugas. Maybe he could fight a Keith Thurman. That's still available. I still think Keith Thurman should get a win, before getting an Errol Spence fight. Maybe he should fight an Ugas. Keith Thurman and Ugas should fight each other. Excuse me. And the winner could fight Errol Spence, and then Terrence Crawford could fight Sean in the meantime. But nevertheless, I think the best way to go about it is Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. At the moment, I think Terrence Crawford playing politics with Bob Arum. He don't want to offend Bob. He want to say the right things, because we already know. I mean, Bob could do a lot of different things to you. He could get you robbed on them scorecards, maybe. I'm just saying, you never know. At the end of the day, boxing is the wild, wild west. So, we won't know how Terrence truly feel about Bob until the contract is up. Once the contract is up, we really going to know how Terrence feels about Bob. If he goes to PBC right away, then what's understood don't have to be explained. If he signs with ESPN again, then we know they must have offered him a big bag, and it better be an $80 million bag. So closest to that of Tyson Fury. So we'll see. I think Sean should be at least getting paid $2 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view upside. I think that's fair. And then just depending on how successful the pay-per-view does, then Sean Porter will get paid more based on the percentage. Nevertheless, like I said before, Sean is not asking for $10 million, just asking to be treated fairly. So that's not too much to ask for. And I don't think Terrence Crawford should let an opportunity like that pass him. You keep hearing everybody complain about you not fighting this man. You better fight him now, because Terrence always did this. When they said fight Gamboa, he did it. When they told him fight Postal, he did it. When they told him you duck and flex Diaz, he did it. When they told him you ain't fighting Jeff Horn first fight, he did it. When they told him you ain't gonna fight Errol, you ain't gonna fight Keith, he called him out off the jump. So all I'm saying is Terrence always did what the fans and the critic always asked him to do. So I believe in Terrence. I think he will actually fight Sean. Hopefully, Bob don't screw this up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't even think I don't think the ball's in Sean's court or even Crawford's court. I think it just comes down to Bob Arum. If he's willing to just not lowball Sean Porter and make him just turn business elsewhere, because that would be the worst thing for Crawford. Because Crawford can't afford the man's 33 years old. He can't afford to take any fight under any fight lower than Kell Brook again. I don't see how people will accept that, because then that'll probably just people will just turn against Crawford, because then people will be like, man, you've been at welterweight for 2 going on 3 years now, and you still haven't fought any of the other champions or top names and everything like that. What's going on? And you still at top rank after that? So I don't know. This comes down to Bob. This really does, because I know Crawford's game. And Sean Porter, if you look at his resume, he's just as game. I really think if Bob gives him the right, negotiates with him right, I know Sean Porter will activate that man. So it's just in his. If you look at the man's resume, you don't even have to think about it. The man's not afraid of anybody.
Right. Yeah, just depending on what Sean want to do. You know, like I said, if he gets a better offer from Errol, and he's looking at it like, okay, Errol didn't even really look at his best his last fight, and they trying to offer me less money to fight Terrence, yeah, he might go the money route, you know, because of the obvious reason Bob is lowballing him. Now, he could obviously go to purse bed and do all the above, but like I said, again, he's only going to get 25% of the cut. Now, with Errol, that's exactly what's going to happen as well. He's only going to get 25% of the cut. So it's all dependent on what Sean really want to do, because if he pushes for that mandatory, there's no denying him, and he will definitely still get 25% of the budget for the fighter. So, you know, I still want to see the fight. I think there's no excuse for the fight not to happen. So I just hope Bob don't mess it up, you know. So we'll see, though. We'll see the developments that take place. But I got a lot of callers, Joey. I definitely get back with you. But before I let you go, Luke or Ryan, give me your quick pick. Who you got and why?
I'm gonna go with Ryan. I think I've been looking at this kid for a minute now. I think this kid really, really has something, because I think this will. If you ask me, I don't think anybody's getting knocked out. I think this is probably going to be another Teofimo Lopez Lomachenko bout, where both are claiming knockouts. So I think this is going to go the distance, simply for the fact that Luke is a tough guy to take out. Ask Loma, ask Nares, and Ryan. I think this kid's really going to show something. I don't think he's going to go down. So I think it just comes down to, they're both talented. They're both very talented. Luke, I don't mean to be rude, but Luke's a talented loser. Ryan, this is his opportunity to prove himself as a top lightweight, taking on a man who's fought the best. So I think this is Ryan's moment. If he knocks out Luke Campbell, then I don't see him being as weak of a link as some lightweights may make him out to be, as Tank and Devin claim he is. So I guess we'll just have to see. But I got Ryan by decision.
I don't know if I heard you right. Did you say Luke is a talented loser, or maybe I overheard you? Did you say that?
No. That's what I said. That's what I said.
I think Ryan should have used that with him trash talking. But yeah, Ryan, I'm loving his energy though, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Ryan is really talking the talk. Hopefully he could walk the walk, man. He got me feeling like he an Oscar, Muhammad Ali version. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's talking the talk. He really believes in himself. In order to make me a believer, he's gonna have to perform. I got Ryan by knockout. I think Ryan is gonna be able to put Luke Campbell out, because unlike Lomachenko, Ryan could crack, and he faster than Lomachenko. So, power plays a big role when it comes to fights like this. I think Ryan could possibly put Luke Campbell out, because Luke, he fights at a distance. So I'm pretty sure Ryan is going to be able to find him at the end of a right hand or a left hook. So I got Ryan by knockout. It's going to be an entertaining fight. I can't wait, and I can't wait till after the fight, because he said, wait till you hear my call out against Tank. Yeah, so I can't wait, because Tank, that's a bad man, and Ryan, he want to go at Tank, and then he said he want Devin after that. So that's like the two most dangerous men the two of the three most dangerous fighters around his division. So, you know, we'll see. But great talking with you.
Yeah, I just want to say just one more thing. Just regarding Tank. Like the thing is, like I like Tio. I really do. He's one of my favorite fighters right now. But the thing is, the reason why I see Tank as a cash cow for one of two reasons. One, because he's a pay-per-view star, and two, it sounds like everybody wants to fight Tank more. Like when you're the pay-per-view star, when you're the cash cow, people are looking at you more. Like Shakur wants to fight Tank. Devin wants to fight Tank. Ryan wants to fight Tank. Everybody wants to fight him. Tio, they're like, we'll fight him next, but like he's not the big money fight, even though he's got all the belts. That's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Can't call yourself the A side if no one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Gervonta ain't no secret. I mean, you see Ryan. I mean, he chasing, you know, Tank. You know, he looking at Tank like a come up. You know, this is my coming out party. I mean, he ain't looking at, you know, Tio the same way. You know, he ain't looking at, you know, Devin the same way. He looking at Tank this way alone. You know, he's saying that Tank is his coming out party. And, you know, obviously it ain't no secret. Tank is the biggest name right now around them weight divisions. And he also the head of the class. He is a little older than all of them. So, you know,
yeah, he is.
That's important to point out. But that being said, I appreciate talking with you. I'm going to go ahead and get to other callers. All right.
Appreciate you, man. Take it easy. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. Shout out to my brother, Basement Dot. Thank you for destroying these fanboys. Oh, man, my brother, it's my pleasure. That's what I do. I perform for my AKHis. Please bring me a decaf in here. Please. Any decaf, please throw your area code in the comment section in the chat box. Go ahead. Throw them suicide digits in the chat box. If there's a decaf that want to call in, please do so. Hit that like button. I appreciate the love and support. Shout out to Life Savior. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, AKHi? It's Kieran from Albany, New York.
What's going on? So talk to me. Who you got this weekend? You got Ryan, you got Luke. Break that down, break that fight down for me. And you know, do you got it by decision or KO for who?
Me personally, I would have Ryan as the favorite because I believe stylistically he can outbest Luke. But if Ryan starts to get careless in the fight, I would probably have Luke by decision or probably by late knockout.
Okay, that's an interesting take. So who you got winning overall?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Ryan. Definitely Ryan.
Decision. You got it by decision? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm you breaking up a little bit.
I could barely hear you, AKHi. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? My bad. All right, can you hear me better now?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So that's what's up. Yeah. So I mean, I got Ryan winning too. I got him winning by knockout. Like I said before, I think it's his time, man. I mean, Luke Campbell, he really.
Yeah.
It's like what Tio Senior said. Losing is on his mind. When you got that type of mindset, you know, you already don't have you don't got that will to win like a guy who's undefeated. Because a guy who's undefeated don't know how to lose. Ryan right now with his confidence. With his speed and power, he don't know how to lose. And I think Luke Campbell, he could probably capitalize on some mistake Ryan makes, like leaving his chin up in the air. But Ryan really makes the ultimate mistakes in the inside. If you pressure him and make him uncomfortable, that's when he seemed to fold under pressure a little bit. But if you fight him at range, that's his P's and Q's. However, if you pressure him and make him use his footwork intelligently, Ryan haven't showed me he could do that yet. So I truly believe stylistically Ryan should be able to beat Luke Campbell with no problem because he has speed and power, youth and confidence, undefeated, all the above on his side. So, I'm pulling for Ryan. Hopefully he gets the W. And like I said, I can't wait for the call out. But let me go ahead and dive in with you. Well, let me ask you this question. So Canelo pay-per-view numbers have not been released. Usually pay-per-view numbers come out the week after the fight, and it's been 2 weeks, which could only mean one thing. Canelo pay-per-view numbers most likely flopped on the zone versus Caleb Smith. So what's your take on that? What do you think is the projection for these numbers? Because usually, like I said, the week after the fight, automatically, you saw Tyson, they released his numbers 1.5 million or 1.6 million. You saw Errol Spence, 250,000. The numbers probably won't be 100% accurate, but they will give you a projection. Why haven't they released Canelo versus Caleb Smith fight yet? Because it was on pay-per-view. They distributed it on TV. It was on the zone for $70. So why they haven't released the numbers if he's the biggest star and the face of boxing?
Because they know that Canelo is trash and he ain't got no Mexican blood. He still got white blood.
So,
and
what do you project the numbers to look like?
I would probably say, to be honest, looking at it from an economic point of view, he did less than at least 50,000 buys. I'm probably going to be honest with you.
Wow.
Like Canelo fighting, I would probably say if they haven't shown those numbers yet, those numbers had to have been horrible. At least 50 to at least maybe 80,000 buys. I cannot even see that even going past 100K, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I will have to disagree with you on that. I think he did possibly 200, 300K, but them still are low numbers for Canelo because, see, they compare him to like a Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. And Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, every time they fought on pay-per-view, they did 1 million plus. Like Floyd Mayweather versus Ortiz. He did 1.25 million, and 1.25 million on pay-per-view. That's how much he sold. Pacquiao versus, anybody really, he was doing close to 1 million or 1 million plus. So when they compare Canelo to them guys, they say he the face of the sport, so on and so forth. And he don't even do any close to them numbers. He ain't even doing 700,000 on pay-per-view. They claim he fought the number one guy that's coming off a loss to Ryder, supposedly. They claiming that he fighting the number one guy in his division, Caleb Smith. He don't fought the whole, Smith family. But the numbers says otherwise. The numbers says he's not a big star. The numbers says the fans are not interested. The number says his fans, they do a lot of talking on social media, but they don't actually purchase his fights. Because like I said before, when you cherry pick so much, when you fight a guy that the whole world know Canelo is going to watch this fighter like Caleb Smith or even Avini, nobody is interested in that. Now, Canelo could do a lot. He could do great numbers fighting a Charlo or an Andrade, a 50-50 fight, a Benavidez, a fight where you don't know who's going to win. At least not 100%. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a pick'em fight, right? Now, them type of fights, Canelo most likely will do good numbers in, But when you fight a Caleb Smith of the world, that's why they got to hide his numbers, because he did poor numbers. So as far as I know, Canelo he's no more of a bigger star than an Errol Spence, than a Tank Davis, because his numbers are so horrible that they haven't released them yet. I'm talking about to this day. I'm telling you, man, these Canelo numbers, they keep telling us he's the face of boxing. He's doing record-breaking numbers, but they always keeping them numbers secured. Like they never come out with him. Mind you, when it comes to pay-per-view numbers, this is like, public knowledge, and at least reporters will get informed on these kind of, things and on these kind of statistics. But when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, if it shows that he's not doing good numbers, they're trying to hide it as much as possible. I got a super chat. Jones, salute to you, AKHi, in the chat. Nebraska in the building. Crawford country. Ryan by decision, but he's scared of Haney. Early style. Yeah, well, we'll see, because he's trying to fight Tank. You know what I mean? So obviously he did. I respect Ryan for saying, you know, he came out and admitted. He said, listen, Devin, he's the toughest fight for me. That's why I'm saving him for last. So if he willing to fight Tank, then fight Devin, okay, be my guest. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hold you to it, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for being honest with the fans. Like, he did not troll Devin like Tio did. Like, oh, he a bum, he ain't fought nobody, while he's being the mandatory for Devin, right? He gave his honest take. He said, listen, he's the toughest fight for me, so I'm going to fight Tank, get him out of there, then fight Devin. So at least I respect that, you know, him being honest with the fans. So I give him the benefit of the doubt for sure on that one. Appreciate the love and support, though. But any last thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just want to say to hell with Canelo once again. You are not a true Latino fighter. You do not represent your heritage. And I really hope that somebody could just really take Canelo out like Charlo or Andrade, because Canelo, you do not represent boxing. Like, if I could find anybody else to replace you, I would probably go with Jamal Charlo or Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson or even Tank Davis, because Canelo is a laughing stock at this point.
Right. Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. You know, as a fan, what does Canelo Alvarez have to do to earn your respect back? Because he clearly lost your respect fighting the Avenis of the world, coming off losses, while claiming he pound for pound number one. I mean, think about it. On the top 10 pound for pound list, I don't care who you got on the list. You cannot name me one fighter on the top 10 pound for pound list that's about to fight a fighter coming off a loss and fight him for a vacant strap instead of fighting the real champion. So what will it take for you to get to, for you know, what will it take for Canelo to do to earn your respect back?
He just needs to fight all of his contemporaries. Just fight Charlo, fight Andrade, fight every single damn fighter that has been calling your name out since day one, and you will have my respect. That's plain and simple. I don't care who you are or what you look like, but if you get into a sport like boxing, me as a fan, expect you to fight the best, not fight bums and trick the fans into believing that you are the greatest in the world when your resume doesn't speak otherwise. Either way, just shut up and please fight your contemporaries. And if you're not going to do that, get out of boxing, please.
Well, that's how you become a star in the sport of boxing. You got to fight your rivals. You got to fight the best in your division instead of being the pound for pound cherry picker in boxing. Because that's what Canelo turning out to become. You know, he's the pound for pound number one cherry picker in the sport of boxing. You know, and the pound for pound number one against Europeans. You know, if he want to do great numbers on pay-per-view, then fight the likes of Charlos of the world. Fight the likes of Andrade. Fight the likes of Benavidez. I bet you every Hispanic will buy that fight. You know, if you want the Hispanic community to buy a pay-per-view, then fight Benavidez. If you want the whole United States and the world to buy your pay-per-view, then fight Charlo. Instead of cherry picking a fighter coming off a loss. I mean, that anybody would lose respect for Canelo then. You know, and like I said, you know, everything we say is a fact. We're not critiquing him by making up stuff. We critiquing him by bringing up facts, and the truth hurts at the end of the day. So that's why these, you know, a lot of these decafs, they can't handle the truth. But I appreciate you for always breaking it down, my brother. I'm gonna talk to you next time. All right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
All right. Thank you very much, AKHi, and Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year. Take care. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where are you calling from?
California.
California. Talk to me. So what's going on?
I was gonna say, who do you think will win, Ryan Garcia or Campbell?
You asking me who I think is gonna win?
Yeah.
Well, I got Ryan Garcia. I think it's his time to shine. I think he got the confidence. He got the look to the hook. He got the right mindset. And boxing is mainly mental. So obviously he's undefeated. He very confident. On the other hand, Luke Campbell not so because he coming off losses like my man said earlier. Luke Campbell is a talented loser. No disrespect, but the man have lost on more than one occasion. So losing is on his mind, especially when it comes to stepping up. Ryan, that's not on his mind, and stylistically, it should favor Ryan because Luke Campbell is a boxer. He don't like to fight in the inside, and that's not his game. So I really see Ryan Garcia possibly even knocking out Luke. It's just how he knocks out Luke to put a statement to pretty much call out Tank how he wants to. What's your take on that?
I agree, but I feel like if you know how Sean Garcia is fighting and it's like in the undercard.
Yeah.
I feel like if Ryan Garcia's brother loses, I feel like that would like to him like he'll be like a little demotivated, but that's the only chance Campbell stands.
Yeah. So Ryan Garcia, little brother, fighting on the undercard, right?
Yeah.
Well, he better win. He better win. But either way, even if he loses, I mean, I don't know. I never seen him box before. I only know Ryan. I don't know who his brother is. I'm expecting him to win because I don't think they're going to put him on a big platform like that and have him losing. But it would be better off for him to win because it will be the ultimate motivator for Ryan to put on the show. But even if he does lose, God forbid, Ryan is still going to come out to prove himself because unlike the Charlo brothers, remember when Charlo lost on the undercard to, when people say he got robbed, it affected Jamal Charlo mentally. Like you could tell it affected him mentally when he fought his opponent because they twins. When you are a twin and you guys both on the same level, then I'm pretty sure it's going to affect you more than it will affect Ryan because his brother is a starter. So he don't got a lot of potential like Ryan does, But just want to ask you, how old are you, man? You sound very young.
15.
15?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's up, man. I'm glad you watching. I appreciate the love and support. So who you got winning? Who you got winning and why?
I got Ryan Garcia.
You got Ryan Garcia by knockout?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, how about this? Let me ask you this question. Who you got winning, Ryan or Tank Davis? If Ryan does knock out Luke Campbell, who would win in your humble opinion, Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Tank Davis?
Ryan Garcia.
Okay, well, that's what's up, man. So go ahead, let Ryan Garcia, who you is that you pulling for him, and that he better pull through tonight, this Saturday night.
I feel like he stands like his brand. He stands for a big brand. I feel like his team is very good. I feel like Eddie Reynoso is good enough and will lead him to the win.
Right. Yeah, he definitely got a great trainer. Yeah, his trainer is really good. I think he improved a whole lot since he been with him.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's your take on Canelo ducking Jamal Charlo?
Well, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was actually in college. I graduated from community college. I graduated from college. I got married. I got kids. And Canelo still ducking them to this day. I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to keep talking about it and keep, having fantasy thoughts on who's going to win and how's going to win. Like, don't get me wrong, Canelo is a good fighter. But we got to see him against the best. I know he could beat Avini. I know he could beat Caleb Smith in his sleep. But I really want to know if he could beat Charlo. I want to know if he could beat Andrade. And if he can't, it's okay. It's okay to lose to the best. But in the sport of boxing, the best must fight the best.
Have you seen Devin Haney stating that he doesn't care if he loses as long as he's fighting the best? That's what I feel like Canelo should do.
Right. So
yeah.
So tell Canelo what he should do.
So
Tell him
that's why
you want him to fight Charlo. Tell Canelo Alvarez if he's listening. Canelo, we want to see you against Charlo in the best of the world. We don't want to see you against Avini, who's coming off a loss.
and can I say it in Spanish or if he hears he can
See.
understand it?
Oh yeah, of course he gonna understand in Spanish. Go ahead. It's even better.
Canelo, pelea a los mejores, no te acules como lo has hecho.
That's my man right here, man. I appreciate you. I really appreciate talking with you. You know, and call again, okay?
Yeah. I have one last question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You know Errol Spence Jr.?
Yeah.
Errol Spence Jr.?
Yes, sir.
I feel like like did you hear about Benavidez cutting saying that Canelo is less dangerous than Gervonta Charlo?
Okay. Who said that?
Benavidez?
Oh yeah. I heard about that. Yeah. So I'm gonna definitely make that my next topic. You know, I'm gonna talk about it real quick. I'm gonna definitely talk about it in a few. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it down. Okay, thank you. I'm just having camera difficulties, so I'm gonna fix it real quick. Thank you for calling in. Hey, make sure you call again, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We had a young buck calling in, but before I pick up any calls, I gotta fix the I don't know when this happened. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm receiving technical difficulties. I'll be right back. We back live. Hopefully this is the issue's fixed. Shout out to Basement Dot. Shout out to all of my AKHis. And shout out to the last caller. You know, I think we had a young buck calling in, schooling Canelo, you know, telling him to grow some cojones. This is what we want Canelo to do. We just want Canelo to fight the best. We all big Canelo fans at the end of the day. I mean, the critics, the supporters, the haters, they all Canelo fans. They all Canelo fans. But the critics, we just want to see him against the best. It ain't just me saying it. It's also Chavez Sr., Benavidez, Barrera Morales, and all the Mexican legendary fighters, even his former promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, Hopkins, every single fighter asked Canelo Alvarez to actually step in the ring and hop in to the lion's den. You know, so what I say, the fighters actually co-sign everything I be telling you guys. Every single thing, the fighters co-sign what I say. Because I speak factual, not emotional. Everything I say is logical. It makes sense. It's factual. You could Google and everything's going to come up. But what you guys say is emotional. It's opinionated. Well, someone used the other day, someone used this term, gossiping. Y'all gossiping. We don't do no gossip. We speak the whole absolute truth. So I appreciate everybody that's still tuning in. And let me go ahead and, you know, maybe I gotta wait a little bit, you know. I really want to talk about this topic real quick before picking up a call. I'm gonna get to the topic of Benavidez and what he had to say, but Manny Pacquiao came out and said that the most likely opponent next is not Errol Spence, it's not Terrence Crawford, it's Conor McGregor. He said he wants Conor McGregor next more than Errol Spence. Pacquiao made it clear that the fight he wants next is Conor McGregor because of the obvious reason. It's a big money fight. I told you guys, you know, I love to be, you know, I have to be optimistic most of the time when I'm doing my job, but I knew from the jump Manny Pacquiao wasn't going to fight Errol Spence. It didn't make no sense to me. I think Pacquiao, what is he, 42 right now? 41, 42 years old. And more importantly, it ain't like he just beat a Keith Thurman yesterday. He beat Keith Thurman in 2019. We in 2021. That's a 2-year layoff he's coming off. You know, he's coming off a 2-year layoff to fight an Errol Spence. I don't see that happening. You telling me you fighting pound for pound number 2, number 1 in your own division, coming off a 2-year layoff, and you 42 years old? Those things aren't adding up, right? Now, Pacquiao, like I said, he would love to fight Conor, which is most likely next. Well, that's what most likely is going to happen if Dana White allows Conor to do so. If Dana White allows Conor to do a one-off the way Floyd Mayweather did with Conor McGregor. Conor is contractual. He obviously has a contract with the UFC, so he got to do what he's told. He has to get permission from Dana White to get the Manny Pacquiao fight. Obviously, for the people that don't know, Manny Pacquiao has the best manager in the game, or you could call him an advisor, Al Heyman, who runs boxing over there in PBC. And he went and signed with Conor McGregor Promotion. When I saw that, there was already a question mark. You wouldn't go and sign with a UFC promotional company, a management company, excuse me, when you already got the best advisor, the best manager in the sport of boxing, Al Heyman. That made no sense to me unless he wanted to fight Conor McGregor. Now, obviously, my man Pacquiao criticized Floyd Mayweather in the past, claiming Floyd Mayweather, you know, he's not doing good for the sport by doing things like this, because fights like this puts a black eye on the sport. But be careful with what you say. The most dangerous weapon in the world is a microphone and a camera, like my man Dante always say, because now Pacquiao is doing the same thing he was criticizing Floyd Mayweather of doing by fighting Conor McGregor. Now, I don't mind it. I love it. I want to see Pacquiao eat and support his people. He's always feeding and donating and building his own community in the Philippines. And I would love to see him being a president one day. So, yeah, hopping in the ring where Errol Spence the Truth and the Bud, the Smoke himself, that's a suicide mission. If you ever wonder what it's like to go on the tallest bridge in the world or the highest bridge in the world and jump off of it to commit suicide, that's like Pacquiao fighting Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. At this point of his career, it's really a suicide mission. So I love the fact that Pacquiao is choosing to fight, Conor McGregor. I don't got no problem with that. Now, obviously, he's keeping the WBA super title hostage, which is stopping a undisputed bout. But let's all be honest. I mean, Errol Spence is not fighting Terrence Crawford anytime soon, so it ain't like they trying to fight each other for undisputed. So it is what it is, Now, one thing Pacquiao could do is have a tune-up. He might be having a tune-up with Conor McGregor, who also happened to be a southpaw, right? Then if he feel like he's ready, if he watches Conor McGregor, who's bigger than him, obviously Conor McGregor is the younger fighter. You could say the stronger fighter. He just doesn't have the experience as Pacquiao. Pacquiao is even faster than him and most likely hit harder than him at this point of his career, at this age of his career still. So nevertheless, I truly believe Manny Pacquiao, if he felt like he shook the ring rust off and he washed Conor McGregor, then maybe he could end off the year with a bang. You go. Listen, I was always told you go hard or you go home. Maybe Manny Pacquiao lived by that code. Like, hey, listen, either I'm going to go ahead and do something completely off after Conor McGregor and chase somebody else that's a UFC fighter, or I'm going to fight the best in the world, the best in boxing that has to offer pound for pound number one and pound for pound number two, number one and number two in my own division, Errol and Terrence. He might go out with a banging and fight Errol because that fight makes the most money sense right there. So, yeah, he could possibly do a one-off because I don't know. Manny's not too much of a clout chaser. Manny don't come out and say things and say, hey, I fight Errol. I fight Terrence and then go do something else. Like, Manny's not that type of a guy. Bob Arum used to clout chase for Pacquiao. Like, I remember back in the day when Pacquiao will fight a particular fighter, they will throw every name you could imagine in the hat. And then we'll pick the ones that will piss you off. That's what Bob used to do. But Pacquiao never personally used to say these things. However, today, it's Pacquiao that's coming out and saying, hey, I want to fight Errol. I'm interested in fighting Terrence. I see something in Errol. Speed is the key to beating Errol. I've never seen Manny Pacquiao speak like that before. So, listen, man. I mean, that Keith Thurman situation probably gave him a hell of a boost when it came to his confidence. But nevertheless, Errol is cut from a different cloth. He cut from the truth cloth. On the other hand, Terrence, he cut from the smoke cloth. That's even worse. So I really, like I said, I don't mind Pacquiao fighting Conor McGregor. He could make his money as long he give up that WBA super belt and not keep it hostage, because at the end of the day, we want to see an undisputed bout. Nevertheless, like I said before, stylistically, Errol Spence is all wrong for him, and stylistically, Terrence Crawford is all wrong for him. So at this portion of his career, at this age, coming off a 2-year layoff, even if I'm being optimistic right now, I can't see it. So time will tell, though. Time will tell. Let me go ahead and pick up a call real quick. How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from?
AKHi, and the decals listening in. What it do, bro? It's your boy Jay.
Man, listen, Jay. We don't got no more decals, man. You know what I'm saying? I think I put on a hell of a statement last show, and I'm getting bored of this show because I'm like, man, there's no more trolls, no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just, all the decafs just gave up. They all took a L. When they see me get my last knockout, guess what happened? They all took a L. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to hand out L's on New Year's Eve too. I didn't just want to hand out L's for Christmas. I mean, call me Santa Claus, but damn, I mean, I want to hand out L's every day when it comes to these decafs. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? No mercy on these decafs. So it is what it is. But I love talking to them, man. You know what I mean? I love talking to them. So hopefully they call back. But nevertheless, how you doing? Jay, what's going on? Who you got this weekend? Ryan versus Luke. Who you got winning and why?
My brother AKHi, my 2021 brother. How you doing, bro? I'm good, man. To all my brothers in the super chat, how y'all doing, man? Love y'all. To answer that question, man. Oh, one more thing. Salute to the youngster that called in, man. Much love. I was talking to him in the conference call, man. Much love to you, my little bro. Awesome take, by the way, too.
Yeah, so Randall Watson, you said, let me give you an L. I mean, are you talking?
Oh, Christy?
Is he a decaf that ain't calling in? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, he's a decaf. I was trying to get Christy.
Oh, hold on. What's your area code? We waiting on you. We waiting on you.
Go in the area code.
All right, listen.
We want some smoke.
Hey, we waiting on you. Since you done said something, we've been waiting on you for an hour. Where you at? Go ahead. What's your area code?
Smoke.
Call in right now. I'll pick it up right now.
Call in right now.
They call me the problem, but you can call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
Call me the can man.
That's no cap.
Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Time is money, and you're running out of time, decaf. You're running out of time, decaf. See, that's what they do. They wait till the show is about to be over, and then they want to call in. Call right now. I want to give you enough time. Please make my day. Please, decaf. Call in. Listen, you're gonna make my year. You're gonna make my year, decaf. I'm gonna give you.
Let's bring 2021 in with a bang.
Let's bring
2021 in with a bang.
Wouldn't you want to put a blemish on AKHi record on New Year's Eve? I mean, man, that you will give all the decafs a present. They will love you forever. You will become their hero. And I still haven't received a call to this day. I'm telling you, these decafs ain't got no cojones. I prove it to you guys every single time. See, he pausing me from doing my job and report on and do the show. We don't pause for a decaf, and this man don't got no cojones to call in. We still waiting on him to this day. Just like your favorite fighters, man. You need to throw some cojones, man.
You don't know shit about boxing. You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
You better not duck me, son. Over here in the chat box, talking, crap, but won't call in. So you see, he disappeared.
No smoke.
I made this decaf disappear. I made these decafs.
It's probably because he saw the last smack and you put on one of the Freezer Force members. That's what it was. Last week he saw you put a smack on one of the Freezer Force members.
Hey, he said 682. Ain't no 682 calling in. There is no number but my man on the line. There's nobody on the press conference but my man on the line. Quit lying. Grow some cojones. Like I said, I know shit
about boxing. You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
He keeps saying 682.
Don't duck. Call in.
Like I said, these decafs are really wasting my time. Nobody on the line but my man Jay Lee.
Don't act like a T-Tone.
Yeah.
Don't act like T-Tone. Ever since I keep smacked off T-Tone and then back, he retired.
He back.
Don't end up like Batman and T-Tone.
T-Tone came back. T-Tone came back out of retirement. He off that coma. I put him in. He off that coma. I put him in. Hold on, 682. I got this decaf to call in. Let me talk to him real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from? Yeah, we listening.
Toronto Boxing, calling from Dallas, Texas.
Okay, that's what's up. Finally, you called in. So you said you're gonna put an
Hey,
L on my record.
hey,
Go ahead, talk to me. What you disagree with?
Hey, before I start, I was gonna say, I've been following you for a while since you guys started. Like, much respect for your show. I love it. You know, I love what you do with the boxing
Hey, it's
community. I'm a
all
big
boxing
boxing
talk.
fan.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's never personal at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
yeah,
It's all boxing
yeah,
talk. So yeah, you
yeah.
disagree with something. So can you please let the world know what you disagree with? And you say you're gonna hand me an L, so I'm waiting on it.
Yeah, yeah. Before that, like, nothing but respect for you, AKHi. I love what you do. I love your show. But you know, like, the only thing I disagree, the only thing I think, is what it is. I think I would love to fight with Charlo and Canelo. Don't get me wrong. That'd be an awesome fight. All right. So the only thing I argue about is I want to see Charlo, if he doesn't get Canelo, fight the next best fighter. Fight Triple G. Fight Andrade. Fight Benavidez. I want to see the best fights. You know. You know what I mean? And I think Canelo is fighting champions. You know.
Yeah, but is
And I
Avini a
haven't seen
champion?
Charlo fighting champions lately.
Is Avini a champion?
Huh?
Avini a champion?
He's not a champion, but he's a mandatory. He has to fight him. He has the WC belt. He has to fight Avini.
No, he don't. He
You
requested
get what
to
I'm
fight
saying?
him. He requested to fight him. He didn't
Well,
have
like,
to fight him. He
it's
requested.
mandatory.
No, it's not. He made
You know?
him his mandatory. He called the WBC personally and told him he want to fight him for the WBC belt of Benavidez. He don't want to fight Benavidez.
Yeah.
He told him he want to fight Avini for Benavidez belt because Benavidez got stripped at the time. And you want me to prove it to you? You want me to prove to you that Avini wasn't a mandatory?
No, I seen it. I see Benavidez. Like, Benavidez is the number one contender, but you find it.
Yeah, I understand that. But
you
you want me
agreed on
to
it.
prove
You know,
to
that's
you,
the next fight.
you want me to prove to you that Avini is not a mandatory. Do you want me to prove it to you?
Go ahead.
Avini haven't fought for 2 years, and Avini is coming off a loss. So you can't be a mandatory because a mandatory is like the closest thing to being ranked number one. Matter of fact, you above that ranked number one slot, right? So how is Avini the mandatory coming off a 2-year layoff and coming off a loss as well? Do you know how?
Hey,
do you know how?
How?
Canelo Alvarez put him there because Canelo is the WBC president. That's why. That's how. But anyways, my brother, I understand. I mean, me and you want to see all these fights, but you said you're gonna put an L on my record. I really want to know how and why and what do you disagree with? Go ahead, let me know.
You know, you gotta give Canelo some credit. He's unifying the division. He's doing things. You know, he's fighting the champions. You know, that's something big. It's not easy to beat a champion or to be a champion. You know, and Charlo hasn't fought champions. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you think Canelo's pound for pound
that's the only thing I argue about.
Yes. Do you think Canelo's pound
right
for
now,
pound number one?
Who else is fighting champions right now? Tell me, who else is fighting champions?
Yeah, no, I'm just asking you a question. Yeah, it's okay. I'm trying to get your take. Do you believe Canelo is pound for pound number one?
I do right now. As of now, yeah.
All
he has a belt in different divisions. Who's doing that?
Okay, that's what's up. All right. So, do you believe Jamal Charlo is top 3 pound for pound or anywhere on that pound for pound? Where do you have him on that pound for pound?
Jamel or Jamal?
Jamal, not Jamel. Jamal.
I don't think so. Like, he hasn't fought. Like, don't get me wrong. Jamal's an awesome fighter.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of the best.
Yeah,
he hasn't fought anybody yet.
I'm just asking you, where do you have him on your pound for pound list? I don't care where you got him at, but I just want to know. I'm curious. Where do you have him on your pound for pound?
Like, I don't have him on the top 10 because he hasn't fought a big name. Exactly. He hasn't had a fight that makes him the top 10. You know what I mean? He's an awesome fighter.
Yeah,
I want to see him fight better competition.
That's exactly my point. You can't hold who you believe is pound for pound number one and a guy who's not even on the top 10 pound for pound on the same. You can't hold them to the same standards, right? You can't hold Canelo, who you believe is pound for pound number one, to the same standards as Charlo, because you don't even got Charlo on your pound for pound list. For you to hold them both on the same standard, you got to have Canelo pound for pound number one and Charlo pound for pound number two. And you like, well, Charlo ain't doing shit, man. He got to do more. Canelo's doing this. Canelo's doing that. Canelo is in position to do these things because everybody want to fight him. Charlo is not in position to do none of these things. You mentioned Gennady Golovkin early on. Gennady Golovkin turned down the fight with Charlo when he was the mandatory. Gennady Golovkin turned down the fight with Charlo when the WBC ordered him to fight Charlo, right? That's not Charlo's fault. But you see, Gennady Golovkin is chasing Canelo. He will do anything for a Canelo fight, but he won't fight Charlo, right? That's one thing. Second of all, you also got, Charlo wanting to fight, Daniel Jacob. He couldn't get that fight. He told Daniel Jacob, let's fight. Daniel Jacob had other plans, right? Charlo said, I'll fight Benavidez. Someone Canelo is not willing to fight. So Charlo is willing to do things Canelo is not even willing to do, is the point that I'm trying to make. But since you according to you said Canelo is pound for pound number one, and you said Charlo is not even on the pound for pound, right? So how about this? Explain to me this way. Name me any fighter on that top 10 pound for pound. I don't care who it is. Name me any fighter on the top 10 pound for pound who's looking to fight a fighter coming off a loss his next fight. Any fighter.
You're right. But you gotta understand, it is mandatory.
I just explained, my brother, I just explained earlier, he requested Avini to become his mandatory. Canelo requested him to be there. He wasn't there to begin with. So you can't justify him fighting Avini either way. So can you name me anybody on that top 10 pound for pound that's looking to fight a fighter coming off a loss, like a Terrence Crawford, an Errol Spence, a Jamel? Matter of fact, it don't even got to be a fighter on the pound for pound list. Name me a fighter that's a champion that's looking to fight a fighter coming off a loss.
Hey, last time I checked, Jamal's opponent, he didn't have an undefeated record. He had 2 losses already.
I didn't say undefeated losses. I said coming off a loss. Like his last fight, he lost his last fight. Name me any Charlo opponent in which his last fight, where Charlo fought a fighter coming off a loss. Go ahead, name me a fighter like that.
Devin. He lost
So
against,
you think Deryachenko and Avini are the same type of level fighters?
Well, no.
Exactly.
I know, but
okay, how about this? Who you had winning, Gennady Golovkin or Deryachenko?
Triple G. He barely beat him, maybe 7-5. It was a close fight.
I had it 8 rounds to 4. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Everybody entitled to their own opinion. I had it 8 rounds to 4. Max Kellerman, which is Gennady Golovkin's biggest supporter, also had it 8 rounds to 4 to Deryachenko. He said it was a clear win for Deryachenko. They robbed the man to make a Canelo Alvarez trilogy fight. That's what the zone had in plan, and they still working on that till this day. But according to you, Deryachenko is not the same caliber fighter as Avini, right?
No, but you said who came out of a loss? He came out of a loss.
Yeah, but No, Avini clearly lost. Avini won't coming off a close fight or none of that. Avini clearly lost the fight. Like the whole world knew he lost the fight. Deryachenko, people was claiming he won the fight. Like the Rolly versus Marenes fight, for example. Yeah, Rolly won because of politics, because he a TMT Mayweather fighter. But Marenes really won the fight, and that's how people felt like about the Deryachenko situation, right? But Charlo's not even a pound for pound fighter, according to you, though. So name me a pound for pound fighter that is fighting a fighter coming off a loss next, or fought a fighter coming off a loss.
Like, check this out, Keith. This is all I argue about. This is the only thing
go ahead. But I just want to know one fighter. I just want to know one fighter. Name me a fighter coming off a loss on that fought a guy on the top 10 pound for pound. Just one.
With a loss, right? With a losing record or just a loss?
No, not a losing record. Coming off a loss. Like the guy just got knocked out or the guy just lost, and a fighter on the top 10 pound for pound fought him next. Or he about to fight him next. It don't matter.
Be honest. I can't name anyone.
There isn't one. That's what I'm saying. You talking about pound for pound number one.
Real,
you talking about pound for pound number one, Canelo. Yeah. He fighting a fighter coming off a loss. You respect that? As a fan of the sport, you respect that.
Canelo for what he's doing.
What is he doing? He fighting a fighter coming off a loss. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Who's doing that in boxing? Charlo ain't doing it. When's the last time Charlo fought a champion?
Well, like I just pointed out, Gennady Golovkin avoided him. I just pointed out he calling out Benavidez. So it ain't at the end of the day, if you avoid it, it's not the same as Canelo. Canelo, everybody want him. Everybody gunning for him. So okay, so why can you said okay, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. You said Canelo is fighting Avini because he's his mandatory, right?
Yeah.
So why he didn't fight Charlo when he was his mandatory?
I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Well, it just didn't happen, you know?
Why it didn't happen? He surrendered his belt. He gave up his belt because he didn't want to fight Charlo. He clearly avoided the man, which is my point. You can't be pound for pound number one when you're not even number one in your own division. Now, if he would have fought Charlo and beat Charlo and then beat Andrade, I respect that all day. I'll crown him myself as pound for pound number one. But when Chavez Sr., when Barrera, Morales, Oscar de la Hoya, all these guys, all these legendary fighters are asking Canelo to fight this man, and he give up his belt, the pride of Mexico, surrender his belt. It's like surrendering your country, surrendering your territory. That's in other words, you're not willing to go to war. You give up your land. That's what Canelo did. And that's a big statement for Charlo to do, to have a guy like Canelo surrender and wave the white flag. I lost respect for Canelo as a fighter for doing so. Because when you give up your belt instead of defending it, you automatically lose respect. I mean, you see Andre calling out Canelo, calling him the B words, telling him you don't have no cojones. I didn't even know what cojones meant. I had to Google what cojones meant to figure out, oh, damn, he telling him he ain't got no balls? Oh, man, that's disrespectful. I mean, the audacity. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the time is up. You admitted yourself that Canelo... You admitted that Canelo avoided Charlo and Andrade, and he cherry picking Avini. You admitted that he ain't fought Charlo, right?
No, let me tell you one more thing, Garcia, before you hang up on me, all right?
But you say you didn't.
Canelo's not fighting. Canelo's not fighting Charlo right now. I want to see Charlo fight a name, so Canelo can like notice him. I want to see Charlo fight somebody.
He noticed him. He noticed him a long time ago. Hey, my brother, he noticed him a long time ago. Trust me. If he didn't notice him, he would have fought him by now. You see him fight the whole Smith family, but he ain't fought none of the Charlo twins. Ain't nobody noticed.
So why ain't Charlo fighting like known people? Why is he fighting guys like Hogan and Adams? I don't get it.
Okay, who Avini fought? Who Avini fought? Who Avini fought?
It doesn't matter who Charlo fought.
Okay, but hold on. But Avini got a Canelo fight coming up. So why does Charlo got to do something that Avini didn't do? When Charlo's undefeated,
why didn't he try to do anything at all?
He is doing something. He fought Devyachenko. He fought J. Rock Williams when he was undefeated. He fought Austin Trout.
Yeah.
He fought all these guys. Who have Avini fought? Who have Avini fought? Who have Avini fought?
He doesn't fight anybody. Charlo hasn't either.
No, but who Avini fought?
Hey, check it out.
Hold on. Who Avini fought? No, hold on. I want to know who Avini fought to earn a Canelo fight, because you said Charlo got to earn it, right? Why doesn't? Okay, well, Charlo was his mandatory too when Canelo gave up his WBC belt. Hello. So why he didn't? So why he didn't fight him? Just like Avini, Charlo was his mandatory as well. You say you don't know? Okay, exactly. But you see, you contradicting yourself. I know you want to see the best fights, but you being a hypocrite right now. You contradicting yourself. You said, but hold on, let me speak. You said Avini, you said Charlo have to do something. He have to, make some noise. Well, what did Avini do? You said he didn't do nothing. He's his mandatory. Well, Charlo is mandatory too. So how come you contradicted yourself? What did Avini have to do to earn a shot with Canelo? Absolutely nothing. So it's just another proof you contradicting yourself, my brother. Canelo making you looking real crazy right here. My man said you be flaming you be flambing this food. Happy New Year's, buddy. You the best. I appreciate the love and support. Let me get back to him. Appreciate the love and support on all the super chats. Hey, you still there? How you explain it? So you contradicting yourself, my brother. You telling me Avini don't got to do shit to earn a fight with Charlo. I mean, with
It's a
Canelo,
mandatory.
well, Charlo is his mandatory too. Charlo is his
Not anymore.
mandatory
He's
too.
got 168 now.
Yeah, because he gave
got
up his belt
168
because he ducked him. Yeah, he not no more because he gave up his belt. He ducked him. He officially ducked him. On the record books, it says Charlo was avoided by Canelo. Charlo got Canelo belt because Canelo didn't want to fight him, so he handed him the belt. He surrendered the belt. That's what the history book says. You know, Hitler beat a lot. Hitler conquered a lot of countries without going to war because they waved the white flag. They surrendered. Charlo is the Hitler. The countries that surrendered is the Canelo. So you understand. So I'm just showing you how you contradicting yourself just to prove to you that you're receiving an L on New Year's because you said Avini is a mandatory, so was Charlo. And Canelo ducked Charlo. But according to you, Charlo gotta fight somebody when he's undefeated, when he fought Devyachenko, when he fought when he fought J-Rock. But the guy who got knocked out on more than one occasion, or he got knocked out before, let me put it that way, and just lost his last fight, coming off a 2-year layoff, who Canelo personally requested to become his mandatory. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Avini earned it, but Charlo, he got to fight somebody though, man. You know. So, anyways, my brother, I appreciate talking with you. Love talking with you.
Hey, before you leave, before you leave, I want to say one more last thing, man.
So
I'm
really out on time. My camera just died on me. Okay, so I gotta let you go. All right. I appreciate the love and support and everybody in the chat. The camera just died on me, so we'll go ahead and end the show. Let my brother get back because how you doing, my brother? My bad. The camera died on me. Hello? You there?
All participants are unmuted. All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
Hello?
Yes, sir. My bad, AKHi. I don't know what that was, but that was some issue or something.
I'm trying to babysit him. I'm trying to give him one step at a time, and he's just talking about he his mandatory. He his mandatory, I guess.
This man, these decals that be calling, I don't even understand why y'all even be going at it like that with AKHi, bro. Knowing damn well y'all just gonna get embarrassed. These decals calling in talking about trying to defend Canelo, bro. You had a youngster calling in, I'm talking about straight capping on freaking Canelo. A youngster from Mexico, who's Mexican with Mexican heritage. Come on, Canelo. You're not no real champ. You're not a real man, bro. Just like Tyson Fury. There's no difference between you, Tyson Fury, and Paulie Malignaggi. No difference.
Hey, yes, sir. But we're gonna cook him up after the fight with Ryan Garcia. So, my camera.
Oh yeah. Okay, let me cook on that one. Let me cook on that one for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got Ryan Garcia by unanimous decision. Why? Because of the simple fact that Ryan Garcia has a nasty right hook. He's got decent head movement, but he doesn't move his head a lot at all. Right? If he can go out at least to round 5 to round 6 with Luke Campbell, I can definitely see Ryan Garcia being able to compete with some of the best. But I don't see Ryan Garcia competing with Gervonta Tank Davis. Sorry to tell you, decaf.
Right. Yes, sir. So that's what it is. Hey, we going live after the fight. Ryan Garcia, Saturday night. We going live. Call in, including all the decafs. We welcome all the smoke. You guys call in last minute. You guys contradict yourself every single breath. So call in and to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Appreciate you, my brother. All right.
Yes, sir. Much love, AKHi, and to all the decals and all my brothers in the super chat.
All right. Peace, my brother. Thank you. And to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, and we out here.